Hello, and welcome to the very first edition of the Calvary News Show. Well, hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Calvary News Show. We're glad to have everybody here with us today, and we're going to discuss week to week news and things that are going on at the church here at Calvary to try to keep you better informed. And of course, Pastor and I are going to be doing that. And hello, Pastor Andre.
Well, good to be with you today. This is our first edition, and I've been looking forward to this. And it's a new venture for us, so we're just going to roll with it and see how it goes. It's hard for me to believe, Brent, that we're already near the end of summer. School's starting back, and when I think about children and grandchildren going, I was just thinking about so many of the challenges some of our parents are facing. And I know we have parents like you that do homeschooling, you and Ola. And then I've got grandchildren that are actually able to go to school in person. And then in our home, our two granddaughters are doing remote. So we've covered the spectrum of that. And it's probably a good idea to be praying for all of those folks that are going through quite a transition at this particular point. I will tell you this, I've enjoyed one particular thing about summer. That's when all the fresh vegetables start to come in. And I am so grateful that we have members that have a green thumb. I think I have eaten more squash and zucchini and fresh tomatoes. I've eaten tomato sandwiches until they're running out of my ears, and I think I could always eat some more. The other day, I actually had some okra. Luann fries it, but I had to boil me some of that. And for anybody who's acquainted with boiled okra, it's got a pretty interesting texture there. It just slides right down pretty easy. And none of my family wants anything to do with that. So
I wouldn't either.
That's a venture I get to do on my own. We got a birthday coming up before long. Our youngest granddaughter that's with us, Mia, is going to turn 12 years old. And that seems almost impossible. But she's got a little buddy down the street named Charlotte, which happens to be your daughter. And for those of you who don't know, Brett and I just live a few houses down the street from each other. Mia and Charlotte get to see each other a good bit and play together. And Charlotte's birthday is September the 1st. Mm-hmm. Mia's is August the 26th. They're just a few days apart in age. They hang out together a good bit. And I don't know, but around my house, I've been hearing all of these plans for some kind of joint enterprise on the birthdays. I don't know what you've been hearing at your house.
Oh, yeah. Plans started very early. In fact, I think it was late June the first time I heard, Daddy, I think here's what we're going to do. And I said, who's we? And she said, oh, me and Mia. She said, we've got plans, and we want our Mama and Grandma Luann to take us shopping together. And so, yeah, they've been planning this for quite a while. So it's going to be a fun, well, they keep talking like it's going to extend over several days. So I don't know. I think because of the joint nature of it, they want it to extend quite a bit over both their birthdays. So, yeah, they're looking forward to it. It's big news around our house.
Well, good. We're looking forward to it.
Well, and we also celebrated yesterday, just for those that maybe didn't tune in. Yesterday was your 25th anniversary here at the church, and I don't know how many people realize this, but I think the average pastor at least several years ago used to just be 18 months at the same place. I doubt if it's changed much from that. If it has, it's probably gone down. So 25 years is a big deal, just really a huge deal. And so that was a great thing yesterday to be able to celebrate 25 years at the same church. Did you ever think when you decided that, or when you felt called to be a pastor, that you'd spend 25 years in the same place?
Absolutely not. In fact, when I came to Calvary, it used to be told, well, he's been at churches anywhere from 4 to 5 years. And That's probably where he'll be with us.
Mm.
And it just seemed that God kept blessing, and there were always new opportunities, and we sensed God's leadership in this. But I would have never guessed 25 years. There's a part of me that kind of looks back and asks the question, where has all the time gone? But we were quite surprised. My wife will tell you, it's hard to surprise me. I always seem to figure out things. And at Christmas, we don't really exchange gifts, but years ago we used to a little more, and I'd get a little suspicious about something, and I'd say just a few days before Christmas, something like, I think I need a new watch. I'm going to go down here to the store and look for one. And Luann would quickly say, oh, no, please don't do that. And then immediately I knew what was going on. But I was totally surprised yesterday. I think with all that's been going on with the pandemic and 5 services a weekend, and I know you know this too, when you're going through a weekend with 5 services, you're just focused on the next service, and you're just kind of going through. And we had already been through 3 services, so that kind of caught me by surprise. And I did notice Luann was sitting in the 9:30 service when usually she's in the 11:30 service. So the video and all that went with it was quite a surprise. So you accomplished that task if you were trying to surprise. And we are so grateful for the privilege of serving this church family over all these years. It's been a blessing, and I'm very thankful for all the expressions of kindness that the people showed to us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was definitely a great time, and it's like I said, a very, very unique thing, and so it was great to be able to celebrate that. So what's happening around Calvary right now that you wanna share with us?
Sure. Well, there are several things that are going on. First of all, I just rejoice because we just came out of a weekend where we had our first baptism. And I've been looking forward to this. We've had several people that have been waiting to be baptized. And we just had to go through a season where we were trying to figure out how to do that.
Sure.
We even asked baptismal candidates and their families, what do you feel comfortable with? We've kind of arrived at a way to be able to do that. And of course, the great thing is with technology today, you do a baptism, you're able to show it in all the services, and everybody gets to celebrate that. And so Kaylee Purvis, I had an opportunity to share the gospel with her on March the 24th. It was a Tuesday. We did a FaceTime call where she and her mom, and she prayed to receive Christ. And so Saturday we baptized her. We have another one on Monday the 24th that we're going to baptize, and then there's another one we're trying to schedule. And so that's great, just being able to see those professions of faith. We're also continuing with our 5 services right now. We'll talk more about this in a week or two, but we're looking at condensing that schedule just a little bit, but we're moving along with the 5 services, and around Labor Day, we're going to try to move toward a little bit of a change there. But God's been good, and we're grateful for that. It's been a busy season, as you well know. But there are some new things in our Next Gen ministry that we want to pay attention to. We have found in our school system, they decided to do remote learning locally. We had some big plans to kind of do greater things on the weekend, and we've decided to put that back a few weeks. And so that necessitated the Next Gen ministry having to do a few things. But instead of me trying to talk to you about that, I think it'd be good to let Pastor Wade, who kind of oversees our Next Gen ministry, be able to share that. So Pastor Wade, would you kind of share with us what's going on in Next Gen ministry for the next few weeks?
Well, hello, Next Gen families. I know that this has been a crazy time for us all. If you're a parent of a preschooler or a child or a teenager, what a past few months it's been. But in the midst of all of this, one of our desires as a church is to really provide ministry and opportunities for our kids and our teenagers to continue to grow in their faith and develop spiritually. And so as we look ahead to the fall, let me just mention a few things that we'll be doing. First of all, we're going to continue to provide life group content digitally for our preschoolers and our kids. Beginning the weekend of September 12th and 13th, we're going to offer that a little differently through a format called Playlister, where you'll be able as a parent with a click of a button to access music videos of praise and worship for your kids, the weekly Bible study lesson, and other content. And that will be made available through our Next Gen Kids Facebook page, through email, through our website. And once again, with a click of a button, you'll be able to walk through that material each weekend with your kids and just enjoy a time of family Bible study together. Our Awana ministry is going to be done virtually this year. That will kick off on Sunday night, September the 13th at 6 o'clock with a drive-in service in our Calvary parking lot, where we'll be handing out awards for the previous year of Awana, as well as this year's clubbers will receive materials to kick off the year, as well as instructions about how Awana will work. Once again, you'll be able to access all the Awana content for a given week using that Playlister link. You'll also have a leader who will be in contact with your clubber and your family to answer any questions that you have for your student or child, to be able to recite verses to them and just to kind of walk alongside them this year in Awana. And so we are really looking forward to the Awana year to come. You'll be able to register your kids for Awana beginning on Friday, August the 21st. And that registration information, again, it'll be out on our website, by email, through our Next Gen Kids and preschool Facebook pages. And so we want to encourage you to get your clubbers signed up for Awana. Our students are going to begin in-person life groups on campus all together again the week of September 13th, beginning on that Wednesday night. Students will begin meeting at 6 o'clock p.m. for life groups, and they will meet each Wednesday from 6 to 7. And so we're looking forward to that opportunity as well. In addition to that, we're going to be restarting Fuel Student Worship for our students beginning Sunday night, September the 13th. That will also meet at 6 o'clock from 6 to 7. And so we can't wait to be back with our students in worship. Let me mention one other thing. We want to do everything we can to give families, and especially the families of our preschoolers and kids, a chance to gather together during this time and just spend some time with one another. And the first one of those opportunities is coming Friday night, September the 18th at 6 o'clock. We're offering a family movie night. We're going to need families to register because our space is limited, but we're just looking forward to a great opportunity for parents and kids to come, camp out in the gym, eat some movie snacks, and enjoy a movie together. Just a great time of fellowship. We'll be sending out that registration information at the end of August as to how you can sign up to be a part of that movie night. And we're going to try to do that at least once a month in the fall, just to give us a chance to spend some time together. Look, we're so glad that you and your family, your kids, your students are a part of our ministry here at Calvary. We're looking forward to a great fall in the ways that God's going to work in their lives, and we're glad you're a part of it. God bless you. Have a great week.
Well, thank you, Pastor Wade. We appreciate so much the work that you do and that Becky and Mary Fisher do. I know that you've been surveying and planning, and we're just grateful for some of the things that we're able to do and facilitate in the ministry. We appreciate all your hard work there. Another thing I'd like to mention, Brent, is the fact that we've been having a campaign for the last few weeks. It's called Stuff the Bus for Kids. And each year we try to do a big luncheon for all the teachers before they start back to school. Well, we knew this year that wasn't going to be something that we could do.
Right.
And so Mark Lane, our Calvary Cares Director, and I began to talk. And knowing that we couldn't do that, we wanted to be able to do something special for the teachers. And so one of the things he came up with was some funds we already had set aside. We said, well, if they can't come to us, we'll go to them. And so there is a special tote bag, I guess you would call it, that we put together for them. And we wanted you to be able to see that so you could kind of get an idea of what we're going to be presenting them with. And we just wanted every teacher to know in this very unusual season, whether they're teaching in person or doing remote, that Calvary cares for them. Right. And we're really wanting to show our love for them. But here's some really exciting news. We decided that we wanted to double down on school supplies. We've been trying to provide school supplies throughout these years for our different schools and the students, and hoping to take a little bit of a burden off the teachers. And so what we've been able to do with that is partner with some of our businesses. Our own church family has been participating in this. We've had an opportunity to give over the last few weeks. And I will tell you that just a few moments ago, and I'm going to share this just straight from the message I received from our financial secretary, as of probably 10 minutes ago, we have collected $7,137.98.
Wow.
And so we're excited about that. But here's some even better news. I also just heard that not included in that total is $1,250 that's on its way. So we are quickly moving toward almost $8,500 for our Stuff the Bus for Kids. And that's going to be used to buy supplies and make sure all the schools are blessed, the teachers are blessed, and the students are blessed. And I just want to say a great thank you to our church family for doing that. Their generosity never ceases to amaze me. And we also want to thank the businesses who've been a partner with us in this moving forward. So that's some of the good things that's happening. God is at work, and we're grateful for that. And one of the things that I wanted to do, not everybody knows all the details of what's going on behind the ministry and some of the things that we have to deal with at times. I've gotten a lot of questions about 5 services and how is it to preach 5 services and how is it to handle this and do that. But, you know, I walk in and I preach. You're kind of coordinating a multifaceted worship ministry. And I wanted the folks to kind of get an understanding of what happens in our praise and worship ministry from week to week when you're trying to coordinate 5 services. And of course, we're thankful for all of those who are part of that ministry. So would you share with the church family a little bit about that?
Well, it's definitely been interesting. And we've got a great crew of volunteers that work behind the scenes, but with our production. I always appreciate them and Cody especially coordinating that and keeping them staffed and keeping them in there. But we knew it was going to be a challenge moving to the 5 services to be able to even have a praise team involved each week. And so as many of you know, our 4 o'clock and then our 7:30 a.m. service on Sunday morning is just me and some tracks. We realized that we weren't going to be able to have a band each time and singers each time in those. But the other 3 services, you know, they've just been great in being there. We've tried to coordinate it to where they're able to sing in the service that they've attended. But we've had to have a couple swap in and out and fill in for each other. And it definitely makes scheduling interesting because they've got to let me know their work schedules and I've got to remember who's in what service. And all that's just kind of something keeps my phone buzzing quite a bit. And they try to let me know well in advance. And so I try to keep all that on my calendar. But some Thursdays, we get together every Thursday for a rehearsal and run through the music. And they know that some Thursdays I kind of look at them with a blank look and say, okay, now remind me what's going on this week. Who's in, who's out. And I think I know, but, you know, be sure and let me know over the next couple of weeks. And then sometimes work schedules will change mid-weekend. And that has kept it interesting. But the people that we have involved are very flexible. And I really appreciate that about them because sometimes when a work schedule does change, I'm able to just text somebody real quick and say, hey, can you fill in or can you stay over for the 11:30 service and help out with that. So that's been good. You know, like I said, it's interesting, but you know, these are interesting days and everybody's kind of had to change and adapt. And we'll change a little bit more in the fall, you know, with the cut of the service and some people needing to switch services. But we've added a couple of singers, which is going to help with that as well. But like I said, it really helps that the praise team and production have a heart for what they're doing, and they realize that what they're doing is ministry, and it's their part of service. And so it really helps when they have that kind of attitude, and they're not thinking, hey, this, you know, puts me out or messes up my schedule. Instead, they're thinking, well, this is just another way I can serve the Lord and be a blessing to somebody else.
Well, I just want you to know how much we appreciate our worship and praise ministry. And one of the things I love about our folks who participate in that, they've got such a great spirit about them. And they do add so much to our worship services. And I know it's been very challenging for you and for the rest of the team trying to spread across all those services. But thank you for what you do. I know our church family appreciates it as well. And we want our praise team and all those who are involved in that to know how much we appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. One of the features I think that we're going to be doing each week is a thought for the day. Why don't you share that with us?
Okay. I was thinking about something I read a long time ago. Luann used to do cross stitching early in our ministry. And I love this statement so much that she cross stitched it for me, and it hung in my office for many years. And here's the statement: attempt something so impossible that unless God is in it, it is doomed for failure. And the reason that came back to me recently was it just seems that with the pandemic and everything, we get so focused on today and what do we need to do tomorrow and next week. And some of that's been forced upon us that we need to be real careful that we don't lose the bigger vision. God is not limited by COVID.
That's right.
God is not limited by the circumstances we find ourselves in. Now, sometimes we are,
Right.
but we need to also understand that we need to have a continuing faith in a great God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, and not lose that sight of how big God is and let that apply to our life and our church. So we need to keep the faith and keep the vision in front of us and trust God to do big things in the days to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good stuff. That is there anything else in closing that you'd like to share with us today, or anything that we need to know going on?
No, not really, but I do thank everyone that's joined us for this first edition, and we're looking forward to joining you each week, and you're going to hear different things and see different features. We just want you to be informed about what's happening at Calvary and anything that may be taking place in the days to come. So I really appreciate, Brent, you doing this and making it possible. I just appear on screen and you do all the hard work. So I thank you for that.
Well, as Pastor said, thank you so much for being with us this week, and we hope you'll stay tuned for the next edition coming to you next week. And be sure to share this as you see it on social media, share it with others. As I mentioned, sometimes on Facebook and Twitter, not everybody in the church sees those. As the way those algorithms work and everything on Facebook, sometimes that gets pushed down in people's news feeds, and so some people sometimes don't think about sharing. They think, oh, all of Calvary is seeing this, but that's not necessarily true. So when you share it, like it, or comment on it, that helps it go higher in other people's news feeds. It'll help them be able to see it, and it'll help the rest of Calvary be able to stay informed as well. So like I said, if you see this on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you end up clicking on it, be sure and like it or do anything that you can to help us share that. And once again, thank you, Pastor, for sharing with us and giving us the updates and the news and the things that are happening. And church family, we'll look forward to seeing you this weekend at Calvary, and we'll look forward to seeing you here on the Calvary News Show next week.